I remember that day like it was yesterday. And it was just like any other day. I remember waking up and getting the boys ready for school and talking to each of them on the way to school about their upcoming midterms, and their father was teasing them about girls at school and reminding them about our camping trip next month. I remember the excitement we all felt about our upcoming trip. I really love whenever the four of us get to spend quality time together. And it was just like any other day with my boys, dropping them off at school and us heading to work. It never crossed my mind that that would be the last time we did that routine. Each time I recall that day, the details seem to get more vivid. Driving down our street after work that very same day, I saw a police car and another familiar car parked outside our driveway. I recognized it was the car of the boys' football coach. Well, they must have gotten into some kind of trouble at school, maybe a fight that got out of hand. My husband would have already been home. I hope he gave the boys a talking to. But I knew that wasn't it the moment I stood at my front door. I heard crying. My husband? I've never heard him cry like that before. I opened the door and my husband immediately came to hug me. I looked at everyone in the living room and I was confused. And I asked, "Where's James?" The officer came over to me and said to me words that will forever stay with me. "I'm sorry, ma'am. James is dead. He committed suicide in the locker room during practice." That was when my world ended. It seemed as if everything stopped in time. All I could do was hold on to my husband. I think I was crying, screaming uncontrollably. My James, my firstborn, my darling boy. Nobody thought it was possible that my darling boy James would take his own life that very day. He was always the family clown, pulling our legs, telling jokes, being the center of attention in class. He did well in school. He was a senior on the football team. He was great friends with his schoolmates and teachers. No one saw it coming. Not us, not his friends, not his teachers. There was nothing in our lives that pointed towards suicide. Nothing. We couldn't figure it out. Were there signs that I missed? Did James reach out to me? Was I a mother who wasn't there for him? We didn't have any answers. Our home was a complete wreck. We all were. For months, my husband didn't speak to any of us. He felt responsible as a father for what had happened. Our younger boy, he was never the same. Like his brother, he was an extrovert, but losing his older brother, who was also his best friend, it completely changed him. Now he spends most of his days alone in his room. He dropped out of football as well, simply because it reminded him too much of James. And I'm so scared that we're losing him. It wasn't until after the funeral that we decided to sort out James's belongings that it dawned on us. I figured it out. I came across his diary. It was a personal journal that none of us even knew he kept, hidden away in his desk. James was depressed. He was lost. He felt that he needed to be the happy, friendly, extroverted person all the time to be accepted. He desperately wanted to be a good son, so he took on football because we had nudged him towards it. But he never felt that he belonged. There were so many times when he tried to reach out to us, and yet he didn't when he saw that we were happy with who we wanted him to be. The last entry in his diary told us that he didn't want to live anymore because he wasn't able to be himself. Afraid that he would lose his friends, that it would make his family sad. He didn't want to shake things up. this facade we were living in. And I didn't know any of this at all. This whole other side of his life. Even when we were living in the same home. I looked back at all the entries that pointed out moments where he tried to reach out to me, to my husband. I tell myself he would still be here if we didn't push him so hard. My son would still be here if we listened more closely. James would still be with us if we gave him the space to be himself and the space to speak freely. Grief is now a friendly face. There will be no last words, no last hugs. There will just be regret. Just the memory of my sweet, gentle yet strong boy who was lost.